And so the question mark is what side are you on? Really? Seriously. What side are you on? You on the side of right or are you on the side of wrong? The way I look at society nowadays, I think most people are on the side of wrong. I really do. I think the majority of our society is so corrupt, so sick, that the majority of people will tell you they're on the side of what's right, but in reality, they're not. They're on the side of what's wrong. Because we've put so much emphasis into ourselves, our selfish selves. The tool. That's right. The tool, money. I mean, we've even hyped ourselves up thinking that we're above somebody else, we're smarter than somebody else, we're more intelligent than somebody else, we're better than somebody else, all based on what? Man made materialistic items, including money. And because you have more of a man made thing, you automatically get a swollen brain and think that you're above somebody else when you're not. Never have been, never will be. You're just living in a bubble. You're having an illusion, a mirage. That's what you're doing. When I look at the reality, I have to say, I guess the simple question would be: ask people, what side are you on, right or wrong? And most people, they're going to tell you right off the bat they're on the side of right because they don't want to be on the side of wrong. But actions speak louder than words, and that is the real truth. Actions speak louder than words. And if your actions are to dump on another human being because you can, then you're on the side of wrong. If your actions are you got to walk over the top of somebody else to get to the top of something, whether it's on the job to get your promotion, you got to step on somebody because it's a dog eat dog world, that's right, then you're on the side of wrong. Even if you claim you're on the side of right, you're actually not on the side of right. You're on the side of wrong because you're taking on the programming. And I know some people can say, well, no, it's all biologically in us. No, you have control over yourself. See, one does have control over themselves. But most people don't want to take the responsibility for controlling themselves. They want to show off to impress a female. Or they want to show off to impress others, even if it is not a female. And their egos. I mean, oh my God, the ego thing. People let their egos swell up so freaking big, so gigantic, that they actually outsmart themselves. They really do. And it's pretty pathetic when I really think about it and I look at the way people act. The majority of people in society are running around with their egos all swollen up, thinking they're something they're not. And then you get people that hooked up on the monetary system that think that because I have more of this and I have more of that I'm definitely better than you, I'm above you, and they look down on you. And you see this mentality in the middle class looking down at the people that ain't even middle class, and the people at the top looking down at the middle class and down at the other class, all over man made bullshit. That's really what it comes down to. All over man made crap, okay? And personally, I don't give a fuck how much money you have. How much of that tool you have don't bother me. You can have trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in that tool, and you're still no better than me. I can be flat busted, and you can have trillions, and you're not better than me. No, you're not. You're probably actually worse than I am, because you most likely have the virus that attacked the human brain. You most likely are corrupt. And that's what I say about double standards, and that's what I say about taboo. TFL, true force loneliness, is a very taboo topic. Even Steve Hoke has told you this, and he's correct about that. It is considered taboo, okay? But taboo is corruption. That's what taboo is. When you say it's not to be talked about, it's because it's taboo. It's because you obviously are covering something up that you don't want people to know. Because the only reason anything would be considered taboo is if you have something to hide. It's corruption. Just like double standards. Double standards is corruption. And here's another one for you. You claim you're on the side of right? Okay, well, let's look at media. We're in a phony war on terrorism that became a real war on terrorism, and the terrorist was the United States of America. We took Nazi Germany's place as we repeat in history. And we're repeating history again because of people's epic failure to grow the hell up and not learn anything. That's the reason we're repeating history. You say, well, yeah, but our controllers have been the same controllers since as far back as you can go. And why would that be? Because none of us ever stood up to them. See, I don't believe in this superior bloodline. I know these 6 psychopaths do. They think it's in the bloodline, just like the President of the United States. You know the lie they told you when you was a child, that one day you might be a president. You mean one day you might be a puppet? That's really what they should have said. One day, child, you might have the ability to rise up to the position of a puppet. Here, let me tie some strings to you so if you ever get that position, I can hook them to the stick and control you. I mean, this is really where this comes from. I mean, okay, off the grid, I see you're here, okay. It's not our nature. How do you know what your nature is? Because, see, your nature's been programmed into you. Everything from the time you was born has been put into you already by somebody else. So how can anybody identify in our nature? How do you know you're not going with another lie? How can you concretely prove and 100% back up that you're not going with another lie, considering you've been programmed like I've been programmed, like everybody else has been programmed? See, so unless you dump the programming, and they don't like it when people dump the programming. Because you was in all spaces. I doubt that. In all species. Okay, all species, right? I doubt that. Okay, you're going to compare yourself to the animals and to this and to that and to that. But human beings are supposed to be above animals. But we're obviously not. Because I haven't met any cats or dogs or elephants or zebras or giraffes to conspire to kill a bunch of its own species off for selfishness and for greed and for control. I have yet to meet animals that do this. I see animals in nature who will fight for survival, who will fight to protect their young, who will fight over food, which is survival. Okay, I can go along with that. But I can't go along with, well, it's in our species, because it's not in our species to say that we're going to have a rehearsal or a drill today and we're going to pretend to kill a bunch of people that we never killed, and we're going to push it all over the media and make the world believe that it really happened when it didn't, so that we can collect some of a man-made tool. Or we're going to go over to another country and we're going to blow up their buildings and kill their women and children and men so that we can steal the resources in the land, or so we can control another person. And control is something you see from the top to the bottom. if you pay attention. I mean, even in us low-life peasants like myself and like the rest of us, you've always got somebody that wants to control somebody else. Okay? So why is that? See, it's not because it's in our species. This is all programming. This is programming. It's greed. Okay? It's power. It's that virus that attacked the human brain. That's really what that is. So when you think about what side are you on, right or wrong, you already know if you ask the question, what side are you on? Most people are going to say, I'm on the side of right, because I'm not going to be on the side of wrong. And most people will tell you that. But then you have to come back to, are you really? Because actions speak louder than words. Are you on the side of right? Or are you on the side of wrong? Because I'll tell you what, the people in media there, they'll all tell you they're on the side of right. But you already know they're not on the side of right. Because they're willing to take the tool and report a complete piece of crap that somebody pulled off the radar to the public and want the public to believe that lie. You know, it's like last night with Jerry. We're up here talking about the new copyright shit that's coming out, which is censorship. What do you think they've been doing for years? What do you think censorship's about? Censorship is the ability to try to control others, to stop people from telling on you. Why would you want somebody to stop them from telling on you? Well, because you clearly know you're doing things that's wrong. You know, it's like our laws. Our laws was wrote in legalese, but you was never taught legalese when you grew up. If you want to learn legalese, you got to go to college after you through growing up and being programmed. Then the majority of people that didn't go to college to become an attorney, okay, or didn't go to law school to become a cop, okay, to become, a thug with a badge. The majority of the people out here don't do that. Just think your job, you're an electrician, you're a contractor, you're a plumber, you're a carpenter. Do I need to go on? You're a factory worker, you're a restaurant worker, you're a retail worker. The list goes on and on and on, which is the majority of the people. Okay? They didn't go to law school. And then if they break one of these man-made rules, you're the first one to tell them that, the justice system, our criminal justice system, will be the first one to tell you, they're putting cuffs on you and taking you away, that ignorance of the law isn't their problem and that you need to educate yourself to the law. But if you look up the laws, the majority of the laws you can't read. You got to first go to college and spend thousands of dollars to read legalese to break it all down. Okay, they don't know you hire an attorney. No, I'm not. I'm not giving some clown some money to tell me what a law is. So, I say this. We have natural laws. Natural laws, everybody should know. That's a common sense. But then you have to wonder how many people would even know that, because common sense seems to be one of them things that is now like finding a needle in the world's biggest haystack, because the majority of our people in today's society don't possess common sense. And I look at it and I say, how did you get so dumb? How do you not have common sense? And they'll say, I got common sense. And all of their actions will tell you, no, you don't. Don't you wish you had it? And that's really what that comes down to. And I don't like to say what I'm saying here, but the truth is, how many of you are actually on the side of right, and how many of you are on the side of wrong? Because when I look at today's society and I see what people are doing, I would have to say that the majority of our society is on the side of wrong and not the side of right. And they will make up a cop out. Yes, right. They'll reach in their book of excuses that they pulled off from underneath their bed. It has every excuse for everything in the world in it. And they'll reach in that book, and they'll pull out their excuse to try to cover up their criminal ass. It's impossible to become an attorney, okay, without connections. You pretty much need family working in law firm to guarantee getting a job. As I believe that, I really do. Okay, because when you really look into it, you find out the majority of the attorneys in this country, if not every last one of them, are freaking Masons. Okay, and I believe that because it's the corruption. It's the corruption from the top to the bottom to only allow criminals into positions and to keep somebody who really cares about right, who actually really cares about other people, to keep them from ever getting into a position so that these criminals can maintain. It's sort of like having our street gangs. You know, you got your little convenience store up the road down there, you got your hardware store, and you got your thugs that walk through the door and tell you you're going to pay us for protection or else. And they want some of your profit for them to protect you. But now, hold on. Let's say you got some nice security dogs that you got in your place at night. You got a security system. You got dogs in there. I mean, I know a mechanic, a guy, his name was Jake, and he owned a garage and he worked on cars for a living. He had, at his personal house, he actually had two wolves. Real wolves. They wasn't just dogs, they were wolves. And he had three German Shepherds. And at his shop, his garage, he had 15 German Shepherds and a Doberman Pinscher. And he took them dogs and he let them in the building every night. And he put food out and he locked the doors up. He didn't worry about no security system. He knew that if you was a burglar breaking into his garage, you was going to have your hands full. And guess what? He was so correct. I think that's probably one of the best security systems I've ever seen. Because even if you walked in with a gun, good luck at shooting them all. And because these dogs were, well, they don't know you. Oh yeah, they would have tore you up. I mean, I laughed, but I also looked at the logic in what he had done. And I said, yeah, you saved yourself a lot of money paying some clown to put a security system in your shop. Your shop is secure. Because I'll tell you what, there ain't many people who can go through that door when they hear all them dogs barking, wondering what the hell are they going to think they walked into the dog pound. So I agreed with what he done. His name was Jake. I thought it was pretty awesome how his security system was all them dogs. But but I do have to say, I mean, what side are you on, right or wrong? Because I know there's a lot of people out here that are truthers or like myself that actually really mean well. I know there's still people out here that are good people like myself that actually care about other people. That actually really care about other people and want what's right on everybody. The problem is I see the dumbing down of America has worked so wonderful. I mean, if I was ever going to shake the elite's hands, I'd have to shake their hands before brainwashing the public so perfectly. Because the dumbing down process of this country has worked so well. And the fear porn, So if we're in a war on terrorism, then maybe we should look at what is considered terroristic acts. And once you look up and see what terroristic acts are, then you would realize that ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, MSNBC, CNN are all terrorists. And they should be charged with terroristic acts and locked up. But of course, we ain't seeing that happening anytime soon, are we? No. You know why? Because they're doing it for the tool. They're doing it for that man made thing. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about any of us. All they care about is that tool, money, and their own selfishness. Isn't that what the real truth would be? And Rich, what floors me? It's how for years I've watched everybody say how they know their politicians are liars. They know they're liars. Doesn't matter. Because, you still got all these people that buy into the left and buy into the right, the Democrat and the Republican, and they buy right into it. And there is no right, there is no left, there is no Republican, there is no Democrat. It doesn't matter. There is none at all. It never has existed. It's an illusion. It's like watching WWE. It's an illusion. It's a mirage. It's not real. It's all rehearsed. It's all fake because one set of people at the very top are telling these people what to do and they're following their orders. So how could have there ever been two sides when both sides are getting listening to the same people? See, they pulled the wool over the people's eyes, and you're all out there just falling for it, left and right, left and right. And then you got the people that say, I don't give a shit about politics. I don't give a shit about religion. I could agree with you not to give a shit about religion, but when you don't give a shit about the politics, that means you don't give a shit about what's going on. Which means you're not going to give a shit when they round you up with a gun to the back of your head and take you off, huh? Which means you're not going to give a shit if they decide to stop the food from going to your grocery stores, huh? Yeah, you are. But you're going to say, well, they would never do that. It wouldn't happen in my country because we're too good for that. Isn't that what your mentality is going to be? You know, the people in Germany said that. So did the people in Russia. Yeah. As they replay history. That's right. And all the suckers are saying the same things that the people over there said just before they found out how wrong they was. Anymore, I think it's going to take the collapse of society. I mean, literally, the collapse of society before people. And I'm sure even then, you're going to have a whole bunch of people that just won't get it. But I think the collapse of society is almost what's needed. Why do I say that? Because that's about the only way I can see people taking their heads out of you know what. The selfishness, the self centered, the ego, people allowing their ego to swell up, believing they know so much more than somebody else. And you know what's most funny about that? You know, that's the people that make me laugh because the majority of people who've let their heads swell up and run on their egos don't look into anything. They literally don't look into anything, and they'll be the first one to tell you. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they think they know what they're talking about because they invented it because they have their ego flying high. And they didn't look into a damn thing. I mean, you know, I can honestly say, Jerry looks, I look. Truth is Sweet is in here, and I know that man looks. That's right, he spends his time looking. And he looks around him, he pays attention to what's going on, like it's like what I do, and is aware. And if there's certain areas in life you overlooked, well, you know what? Guess what? He's a human being like I am, and we all have that, huh? Yeah. You know, a lot of people didn't realize I did, you know, that because I'm in the truth community, I'm out here speaking out of the political one, just like with Jerry. But I also do a lot in the dating arena because that's where I started at. It was the dating arena that woke me up to what was going on in the political arena, that woke me up to what's going on in the world. So, yeah, I do drift back to the dating topics. I always have and probably always will. And people say, why do I do that? Well, because I care. I actually care about right and wrong. I actually care. I'd love to see the genders brought back together. But in our toxic society we have with people's inability to treat each other right, with people's ability to be selfish, and with corruption called double standards. That's what corruption is. Double standards is corruption. Yep. And with painting out taboo is taboo is taboo, which is corruption. To hide. That's right. And that's why even yesterday night's show, when Jerry and I was talking about this new copyright BS they're pushing, that is censorship. That's sort of like taboo. It sure is. It's censorship. You share a news story and it's a copyright violation. You give your opinion about a news story, it's a copyright violation. No, that is censorship. That's what I told Jerry. I says that's called Operation Shut the Fuck Up. Excuse my language, but that's what I called it. That's what I told Jerry. It's called Operation Shut the Fuck Up. They don't want us speaking out. They don't want us telling other people the truth. They don't want us showing the truth because they want to continue to get by with. And you know what? They're going to continue to get by with. You know why they're going to continue to get by with? Because of these things right here. To change society, we on an individual level, we have to first recognize right from wrong. Then we have to be able to apply from right from wrong to our own selves and be willing to do unto somebody else as what we would do unto ourselves, which means taking personal responsibility, which is not going to be easy for a lot of people to do because you're going to have to ditch the programming. And it's going to mean taking on personal responsibility. And you got to have care. You got to be able to care for somebody you don't even know as much as you care for yourself. So I don't ever see that happening. So without them things in line, you ain't stopping a damn thing from what's going on. And I don't care who you are, and I don't care how much you speak out, and I don't care how much knowledge you got, because these criminals got their power from us the people. And only us, the people of this world, can dethrone them and take that power away from them. Because they got that power by us listening, by us being scared. Why do you think they push so much fear porn? That's what they get their power from. And the only way we are going to rise up, because they've spent how many years now? Years and years and years creating division. They have completely destroyed our society. They've created divisions in every aspect of our society. So we're all fighting each other over fluff and stuff. That's what I like to call it, fluff and stuff. So when you really look at the whole picture, how do you think you're ever going to stop these people? You're not. It is so damned easy to beat them, but at the same time, it's so damn hard. No, they always do this to me. I'm in a live stream, and then, oh no, I'm going to call you now. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's the way that normally works out. If I do a video or I'm doing something, that's when the phone will ring. This is, you can tell right there. So no, I mean, I look at it for what it really is. And that's just the reason people hear me tell you, you got to recognize right from wrong. Okay, this is the reason, like in this video, I said, what side are you on? Are you on right side or wrong side? And I said most people are going to choose to say they're on the right side because they don't want to be put on the wrong side. Then I said actions speak louder than words, and people hate that. Because if you claim you're on the right side, then your actions need to show that. And this means you're going to have actions that match your mouth. And unfortunately, most people won't have actions to match their mouth. Ah, that was Trump calling you Bill. Oh, okay, yep. Well, Trump, the puppet Trump. The Freemason Trump. That criminal over there. Yeah. All the people out here that fell for the BS. Okay, but we'll go on. But that's the reason I said, I mean, the one thing the Truth is Sweet knows as well as I do, you're not stopping these criminals. It's not happening. It's not going to happen. And it's just not. Okay? I would love to see it stop. Oh man, I would love to see it stop. But it's not going to stop short of people on an individual basis. There has to be a virus recognizing right from wrong and having care. And then being able to do unto one as they want done unto themselves and actually caring about somebody they don't even know as much as they care about themselves. Because it's the only way people are ever going to stand back together to rise up and tell these criminals no. And if you got the masses doing that all over the whole world, military and all, just standing down. It don't take bloodshed. It don't take guerrilla warfare. It takes people standing down and refusing to cooperate in high numbers all over the world. Military, law enforcement, workers on the job. It takes masses all over the world just standing down. Don't matter what orders are shot, they stood down. They don't listen to the orders. They don't listen to the orders. Don't listen to the orders. Ignore, 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 ignore. That's how you take your power back without any bloodshed. That's right, without any bloodshed. But see, I'm having a mirage right now, an illusion right now, because you know as well as I know that that ain't never going to happen. You say, well, why are you wasting your time talking about it? Then I have to ask all you people who are out here showing what the Masons are doing and this false flag and this and this and this. Why are you wasting your time? See how that question came right back onto you? Do you see how when you tell me why am I wasting my time? You might want to look in the mirror and ask yourself the same question. See, we the people are the people that's allowed this world to get in the shape it's in. And only we the people can turn that around. And until you have care and can actually care about somebody as much as you care about yourself, even if you don't know them and they're on the other side of the globe. Okay, like in Yemen. Okay, until you can care about somebody as much as you care about yourself, till you can actually recognize real right from wrong, and your actions speak that, and you can take self-discipline and you can do unto one as you want done unto yourself. Until these things come together, there will be no rise up to stop these criminals ever. Ever. And that's just as simple as that. I can understand people getting angry and wanting to take Masons like Jerry and punch the shit out of them, you know. Hey, I can respectfully understand the anger and what you feel like and what you'd want to do to them. But that's not going to change nothing. What war has ever changed anything? Outside of giving these people more control, more power, and more wealth. See, there ain't no war that's ever changed a damn thing. You're living a mirage. That's sort of like asking Karen Stroud, girls' rights, what? Paul Elam turned over the men's rights movement to the feminist women about 7 years ago. So now you got this pack of females claiming they're fighting for men's rights. Biggest joke you ever seen. But in 7 years of these females doing this, why don't you just ask one simple question? What have they accomplished? You know what they've accomplished in 7 years? Zero. Nada. The only thing they've accomplished is lining their pockets and making themselves into stars. That's it. See? Problem, reaction, solution. Divide and conquer. It's no accident that the genders are divided the way they are. I mean, if you looked at my channel, you see I posted up a couple of things yesterday. How you like that gal that's sitting there beating herself with a hammer? So that she can bruise herself, so she can call the police and say her ex-boyfriend did it. So that she can use that to keep custody of her kids. See, this is the mentality. This is how evil we've become. This is how sick this one particular woman is. And you can say, well, that's just her. Well, yeah, that's just her and about 10,000 others just like her. And we have ourselves to blame for that because we don't belong putting one gender over another gender. That equals virus that attack the human brain. That equals power. Greed and power absolutely corrupt. Okay? What did you think was going to happen when our society's placing one gender over another and all these white knights and manginas are busy placing the female over the top of themselves? What did you think that was going to lead to? Come on, honestly. It led to the women recognizing the power they have over the top of men. Power and greed absolutely corrupted their minds. You know how many times I've seen a woman completely flip out just because she didn't get one of her wants? And I'm telling you, I've lived a while, man, and I've been around a lot of women, and I'm telling and I see it. Not that guys don't, because I've seen guys act childish like this too. So don't get me wrong. But the thing is the women have been placed in this spot by us, the men, and by our so-called puppets and our leaders. Okay, and they know they have. They have everything going for them. What does the man have going for him? If you got some Vaseline, go ahead and bend over. That's about what you got going for you. Okay? So, and I love it when people tell me I'm a woman hater. I just love it. I'm a woman hater with a wife. It's pretty funny. I'm a misogynist because I spoke up for what's right. Because I'm on women's side, but I'm not on corruption side. Okay. you know, and so I tell these people, tell me I'm a woman hater, I'm a misogynist. I tell them, well, that's obviously because you're a man hater. And I don't care if you're a man or not. If you're going to tell me I'm a woman hater, well, I got a wife, okay? And because I dared to call the wrong of some woman, that made me a woman hater, okay? Well, then obviously you hate your own gender so bad that I don't know why you don't transition. We do have a in thing in society now that says being a transsexual is just fine, right? We have a gays and a trans movement out there. They're big and they're flourishing, rich, fine. So since you hate yourself so bad as a man, because you hate yourself so bad that when somebody speaks out against a female that you're gonna slam them to the ground, then I think maybe you should probably go ahead and go down to the hospital and get some hormone pills and grow some nice little boobies for yourself and maybe get some little surgery going on down there and take care of that problem. I could send you a dress if you'd like. I don't know what female name you'd like to pick for yourself, but I would like to help you out of your misery, okay? Because I feel sorry for you that you hate your own gender so bad. Okay, now I'm being sarcastic as hell right there, but I'm going to be that way because we don't belong corrupting one another that way, and we are. Look at our society. Really seriously look at our society and look at what's going on around you. Open your eyes and realize I see all these people that have called themselves truthers in the truther movement. You know, that movement was created by the CIA. Okay. They're fraudulent. I mean, I call them fraudulent for the fact that they think the truther movement, being a truther, means that we get to go through the buffet line and pick out what truth we like and what truth we want to disregard. And fighting the war of right versus evil or wrong, good versus evil, what have you, fighting this war that we can select out only what we want to fight and leave the rest of the corruption in place. I don't play into that game. Never have, never will. No. If you can't fight the whole fight, what the hell are you even doing here? Can you imagine this mentality? I mean, I want to put you in the boxing ring against a boxer and I'm going to give you one glove. He gets two. And you can't use your bare hand. It has to have a glove on it. And you only get one. You know why? Because you're selecting what fight you want to fight in a war of evil versus good. So therefore, you've played selective, which means you're only fighting part of the fight. So if you're only going to fight part of the fight, then you don't deserve to have a second glove. Matter of fact, I'm going to tie that arm that ain't got the glove on it. We're going to tie and pin that to your body so you can't use it. And the guy that's fighting the whole war is the guy we're going to put in the ring against you. He's got both gloves on. He's got both hands and arms free to use. You only have one because that's what you chose. You've chose to fight only this part of the fight. That's how I feel about people who do this. And I really don't care if I make you mad. I'm telling you how I feel. Okay, that's how I feel. I have a right to how I feel. Like Off the Grid has a right to the way he feels. Okay? And anybody else out here, you have a right to your own feelings. You have a right to your own opinion. And I'm not going to slam you to the ground for your opinion. I may not agree with you. You may not agree with me. Hey, that's fine, man. That's part of life. That's how it's supposed to be. That makes you an individual human being. And guess what? I'm not going to be mad at you, and I'm not going to be your enemy. No, I'm not going to be your enemy because we disagreed upon one topic. Because I don't know anybody that agrees upon every topic in life. That's just not how life is. Never has been, never will be. But if the elite get their want, we'll all be thinking with that brain in the jar over there on the shelf. And we'll all be thinking alike. Then you could get rid of your disagreements. When the elites say bend over and put the lube up there, you know what? Everybody will bend over and put the lube there, won't they? Okay, now I'm being sarcastic again, but But this is where I come from. So I wanted to jump up there and ask you, what side are you on? Are you on the side of right? Or are you on the side of wrong? And if your answer is you're on the side of right, then my question for you next is, can you prove that? And I hate to say that to you that way. Can you prove that? Because what I see going on in society, I know the majority of all of you are going to say you're on the side of right. And the majority will actually be on the side of wrong. And will think because they're on the side of wrong, that makes them right. Or they'll think because 10,000 other peoples are committing a wrong onto somebody, that makes them okay to do it. No, wrong is still wrong. That just means you got 10,000 complete fucking idiots doing wrong onto somebody else. That's all that means. Well, I don't know that you're way ahead of me there, Off the Grid. I've been saying this shit for years, and I've had so many channels taken down, so you wouldn't know it. Unless you was around back then when I first started and seen all my videos, and we didn't always have live stream back then. And when they take down my channel, there's something about them taking all my videos with it. So I don't know that you're way ahead of me on this at all, no. I can say that you've assumed you're way ahead of me. I work with other people who think a little bit differently, and I allow them their own thought frame. I don't get into confrontations with them, at least I try not to. Sometimes they get into confrontations with me. They might want to try to control me. They might want to get angry at me and try to control me. I've had this happen several times throughout the years. And every time they get angry at me and try to control me, they always seem to lose. That's right. They found out that they can't. Some of them went away and never come back because they were so angry. Because I didn't think with their brain. Because they couldn't figure out what I was saying. Well, thinking ahead of the future is a bright idea. Okay? But at the rate we're going, you won't have to worry about thinking ahead of the future. Because if we keep going down the path that we're going down, there will be the destruction, complete collapse of society, and there will be major genocide as history replays itself again. That's where we're headed. We're headed to complete destruction. We're headed to major genocide. Yeah, that's where we're headed. There can be no good outcome with the way people act. So. But am I going to say when? No, I won't. But I can tell you, we cannot keep going down the road we're going without bad things. It's only going to get worse. And you know what? It's got to get worse before it gets better, right? And most of the time, history always seems to replay itself. And that's what I'm seeing going on. It's history's replaying itself again. And every time you get to the end of history replaying itself, there's always major genocide. Millions of people get to die. And then they back off and they allow people to blah blah again. But maybe this next time they won't allow them to blah blah again. Maybe they'll be the good little perfect slaves. They'll be in the Orwellian world of 1984. I don't want to wish that upon nobody, but I'll tell you what. We cannot continue to make the same mistakes which we are without bad consequences. And when people want to say we are progressing, we are moving forward, we are advancing, we are smarter than ever before, I disagree. We are dumber than ever before, not smarter. We are falling for all the bullshit. Why do you think you got an epidemic of people with cell phones in their hands? Okay? And they're getting together to visit their friends. And they got their smartphones to their face, and you hear nobody talking. Nobody talking. And they got their phone in their face. Nobody talking. Yeah, I went to visit my friend today. We're over there for 3 hours. Oh, yeah, so what's going on? I don't know, man. We all sat around talking on our phones. We were all chatting, typing. Or we were stuck in a video game. Yeah, man, we were on Facebook playing this video game, man. Yeah, man, it's cool. We were stuck in this game. Didn't really have communication. As they break down your communication skills. And that's really what you see going on. They're further breaking down the communication skills. And now we have more censorship coming our way. We sure do. Don't surprise me any. Operation Shut the Fuck Up. But you know what? I've been doing this for a lot of years now. And my health isn't good. You don't scare me. What are you going to do? Kill me? That's what I say to the elite. What are you going to do? Kill me? So what? Go for it. That's how I feel about that. So freaking what? Go for it. Okay? I'm ready. See, you don't scare me. And I'm serious about that. You don't scare me. But at the same token, I actually care about people. That's why I've done what I've done. And I make a lot of enemies along the way. I make friends and I make enemies. And I make friends and I make enemies. Sometimes I make more enemies than friends. It's the pits of telling the truth. It's the pits of telling people what they don't want to hear. I always hope to make an impact, to make a change. But you know how it is. You might help one or two people along the way in a bunch of years, and that's about it. You're not going to stop the powers to be. Nobody has the fortitude to do so. I've already told you right here in this video how you're going to stop them. And there ain't nobody that's going to do as I said, so there ain't nobody ever going to stop them. That's the one thing that Off the Grid totally understands as well as I do. You're not stopping them. As much as I would love to see it stopped, we're not. It ain't going to happen. I wished it would. I really do. I would love to see it happen. But I just don't see it. Because I can't see people ever learning how to get along. I can't see people caring about other people as much as what I care about other people. See, I've cared about other people my whole life. I've went out of my way to help perfect strangers I didn't even know. And I wasn't after some kind of selfishness thing. I didn't need none of the tool. I took my time and fixed a car for somebody just because I had the skills and I wanted to. The car was running, smiles on their face. Hey, guess what? That was my payment. When I seen a smile on their face and I knew I'd help them out, that was my payment. I was happy. I was content. And I went on my way. I've done this hundreds of times in my life. And I've been told I'm brutally honest. I'm too honest. And I love it when somebody tells you you're too honest. Because then you have to ask yourself a question. How can you be too honest? Because you don't want to hear the truth? Because you don't like truth? You don't like honesty? I mean, seriously, ask yourself that question. How do you get to be too honest? And I have been told this a whole bunch of times in my life. And I was laughing the other day. Steve Hoka called me up. We were talking on the phone, and Steve told me how his brother told him he was just too honest. And I've been told this so many times in my life by people that I was too honest. And I just laugh at that statement because we live in a world where everybody says they don't want to be lied to, but everybody wants to lie. So, but then when you tell them the truth, they get madder than hell at you. So we live in an insane world. But I actually care about people, and I always have. This is why throughout my life, I've helped people. I've replaced sinks, I've fixed walls, holes in walls, I've put in air conditioners, I've done electrical work, I've done plumbing work, and I've worked on people's cars, fixed their car for them. See, I was what you would want to call a jack of all trades, but I didn't like sports when I was a kid, and all I did was tear things apart and put them back together again and make them work. And that's what was my hobby was. That's what I liked doing. At the days of record players, I used to tear the record player down to nothing, put it back together again and make it work. And when I got it back together and again and it worked, I was like, yes, okay. And this is what I've done my whole life. So you might want to say was the jack of all trades. I can fix a lot of stuff, figure out a lot of stuff. I've always been that way. I've done remodels for years. I worked on cars for a bunch of years. I used to drive a yellow cab. My nephew was a kid. He would always tell me, he remembers, I remember coming out and you had a cab in your driveway. Yep. I also worked on their cabs. Hello, Truth. So, and I worked on the cabs and I drove cab and then I would collect most of the money for myself because I was the one fixing their cabs. But this is just it. I would fix things for people for nothing. I would help other people for nothing because my payment was when they had a smile on their face. Then later, as the years progressed, I was told that made me weak. Now comprehend that. You're told that when you do something for somebody from your heart, that makes you weak, huh? Insanity. That's corruption. That's corruption within itself. Okay, it really is. That don't make me weak. It makes me stronger than most people are because most people think they gotta have something for something. That's one of the reasons years ago, even with Steve Hoka, I was dead set against collecting any money for what I was doing. And I'm still that way. That's me, okay? But I've had a change of heart over the years. If Steve wants to collect some money for what he's doing. If somebody wants to pay him for doing it, then by God, go do it, Steve. That's how I feel about it, okay? I've had a total change of heart about that. That's his prerogative, his right, okay? I shouldn't push my want onto him. That's just wrong of me, so. But at one time, I was dead set in that. Why? Because I'd done everything from my heart. That was me my whole life, man. I actually cared about other people, and I'd done it from my heart, so I didn't want to charge people money for something that I could just give them. That's the way I've always been. And I can understand Steve's point, man. He's working his butt off on his job. He's barely making ends meet, which most people are. Okay, because it's not easy. Okay, it's not easy at all. You work your butt off for what you get. Okay, which I did my whole life. I've spent many times being broke, but I didn't care. I just didn't care that I was broke. It's always been me, man. I always figured there's another time, and I went out and did something else, and I made some money, but I made my money legitly. And, that's why I said I did remodels for years. I worked in cabs for a living. I've even worked in manufacturing plants for my paychecks. Matter of fact, my last job that I had, because I spent years remodeling when I was in Florida. That's what I did in Florida. I remodeled places, and then I went into maintenance, and I was fixing stuff and doing the same stuff, just not remodeling houses in a motel. Holiday Inn on top of that. So it was a pretty big one. So I have lots of skills, but I don't charge people for my skills. I mean, how many people know that? I'll give you a good one. For people who you have your remote control for your brainwashing box for your television set, or you have your remote control for whatever it is, and you push the button and you can't see the light blinking on it, even when it's got brand new batteries, and it changes your channel, right? I'll give you all a hint for the people who don't know this. Let's say the batteries die. You want to know how for sure the batteries are dead outside of getting a meter out and probing it, or just trying new ones? Simple. Take out your cell phone, turn your cell phone on to camera mode to take a picture, a still picture. Turn it on to camera mode, turn the remote around, face the remote, the part of the remote that faces your television set, towards your phone with the camera on, and push the button on your remote. If the batteries are live, you will see the flickering light through your phone. If the batteries are dead, you will see no flickering light. Now, how many of you knew that? Okay, I'm telling you this just so you have a little extra knowledge for the people that didn't know this. Okay, this is factual. This is the quickest way to check your remote control for dead batteries. Is to just take that damn phone you got and turn it on camera mode, flip that remote around and push that button, and that phone will see what your eyes are unable to see. Okay? So then you will know if the batteries are good or dead. And if you don't believe me, try it. You'll go see. I just told you the truth. Now you know something you probably didn't know. Okay? I've done all kinds of shit in my life. I've learned a lot. And I don't mind sharing my skills. I don't mind at all. There's so much I can't do anymore. I actually get upset sometimes because I'm so used to working, but I can't no more. I'm forced to not be able to work, and I don't like it. Okay, but I know if I go out and push myself, I won't be here talking to you much longer. And since I know this already, I don't push myself too much anymore. I really don't because I can't. It sucks. I'll tell you that right now. It sucks. It sucks. But so I got more free time in my hands, to be bored. But here I am. So I come up and do a live stream today. I just wanted to talk to people. I wanted to see, and I wanted to, I actually care. That's what I told people. That's one of the reasons it bothers me so much. Because I actually do care. And that's, and most majority of people that are awake ain't awake to both ends. You know how many TFLers out there and MGTOW people don't even know where this problem come from and are unable to see it? And then you have the people that are awake on the other end of the arena that are calling the people that are TFLers or Intel, MGTOW or Incel people, all these names, because they're unable to see it because what's right in their face isn't right in their face. It's absolutely pretty pathetic. It's that way, but it is. Then you get the few people who are awake to both sides and totally understand where this problem come from. Why does TFL exist? Well, because NWO exists. That's really why TFL exists. That's the reason the genders are so divided and we're fighting each other and we're acting the way we're acting. It's all social engineering. It's all brainwashing. It's all programming. It's just, what can I say? I would love the hell out of stop these people, criminals at the top. I would love to stop them in their tracks. I know Jerry would too, and I'm always going to love the thought, the fantasy, the illusion of beating them. But I already know it's not going to happen. That's the one thing that I totally agree with Off the Grid on. He knows it. I know it. It don't mean I'm not going to be a thorn in their ass, crawl up underneath their skin. If I can be a thorn in their ass and get under their skin and make them have a bad day, I'm going to do it. Because these motherfuckers are the reason that we're all living what we're living. These idiots are the reason we're having all the corruption we're having, why the wars that's going on, the reason the genders are divided, the reason the family unit is destroyed. They're the reason we're in the shape we're in. And we are almost just as much of the reason as they are because dumbing down of America. I mean, thanks Charlotte Isabey. She told you right. The dumbing down of America. She did. She told you the truth. And I don't totally agree with going overseas, but I'm not going to tell you not to. You better understand this, though, NWO. They didn't accidentally call it New World. It's not accidentally worldwide. And TFL epidemic is worldwide. So you can go overseas to get a gal now and screw up the ratio of numbers. But it won't be that much longer before going overseas is the same thing as staying where you're at right now. They'll be just as corrupt over there as they are over here, and you won't even know it. Because none of this was an accident. It's social engineering. And as it progresses across the world, it's going to be over there one day. It's going to be the same over in the Philippines as it is in America. It really is. You ain't got nowhere to go. I guess if you want to build a spaceship or a rocket and try to go to outer space, okay? Or people need to get pissed off and realize where these idiots at the top get their power from and don't get out your guns, just stand down. They have no power when the masses don't listen no more. But then again, there I am, damn it, I'm stuck in that mirage, that illusion, ain't I? I've been stuck on that illusion forever, man. That's because I know it's doable. And then at the same time, I know it's not doable. And I hate to be that way, but I do. I mean, because we could change it, but we won't. I would love to change it, and I could ask how many people are on board with me, how many people want to stop the corruption. But I won't have enough takers, so I'll have a lot of fake, fraudulent people say, yeah, I am. And then when it comes time to do it, they'll be nowhere to be found. They'll be like Lou Podolsky of Weird Change in Cassie Dill, when she went to the park and opened up her lemonade stand right across from the White House. And she went to jail. And Lou Podolsky lied to the world and told everybody he was going to be there. And of course he wasn't there. He set her up. Lou Podolsky of We Are Change, the plant, the agent. The scumbag is working with the criminals for the tool. Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. And I know when I first brought this Lou Podolsky name up to people in Weird Change, they got all pissed off at me because I told them what he was. I remember that. Because they were unable to see through the BS. These are not accidents. These are psyops, and they put people in front of you, and you people just fall right down the hole with it. But as far as TFL goes, it's not going nowhere. I was looking today, and I do this periodically. I do a true force loneliness look up on YouTube and on Google and just test the statics or who's done what. And I've noticed that TFL is taking off again. And I'm seeing a whole lot more faces again. Okay, talking about true force loneliness. So yeah, but it's not going nowhere. It's only going to get worse. And you can't go with the idea, well, if we don't talk about it, the situation is going to go away. No, it's not going to go away. Because the situation was created through social engineering. As long as people keep acting out the programming and doing what they're doing, And as long as men keep placing women above themselves, then the virus that attacked the human brain, power, power and greed, will corrupt their minds, and this problem will continue to go on. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Get used to it. I know Steve's a little impressed because I have a wife. He's in a live stream last night, and I go on his live stream, and she's right here. It's like I've told Steve and I told everybody else. She'll be right in this room with me when I do a TFL video, when I'm doing a live stream, when I'm saying what I'm saying. And he's so impressed, like, how the hell do I do that? And I'm doing it right in front of her. Well, of course I'm doing it right in front of her. What, you think I was going to hide it from her? She don't like it. She knows where the door's at. That's how I am. See, I don't play favoritism. I also don't tell her what to do. It's not about who's wearing the pants in the family. That's why I always sarcastic with people when you say, who wears pants in your family? I say, we run around naked. And they look at me funny when I say that. And I said, that's because there is nobody who wears pants in the family. Because when you say who wears pants in the family, you're really calling the other person a slave. And I don't care what gender it is. That terminology is calling the other person a slave. Who wants to be bossed around? Who wants to be told what they can and can't do? Who's an adult that wants to be told what they can and can't do? By the person who says, I love you. Come on, do I see any takers? You got your hands up? Come on, raise your hands now. And tell me you'd love to be ordered around or told what you can and can't do by somebody else who said they love you. I don't think I'm really going to see any hands up, do I? No, I don't think so. That's because you all know the same thing I know. You don't want to be told what you can and can't do. But this is the epidemic we have. This is what we've done to ourselves by giving women all the everything. Yes, women are a victim of this too. They really are. Not of TFL, but of the social engineering. They've helped to destroy the family unit through their ignorance, through their want for greed, the power. The virus that attacked the human brain. Because the social engineering has set them right on up. And they're destroying men's lives, and men's are destroying their lives, and we're all getting along humpty dory, killing each other, slamming each other to the ground. Courts are making lots of money. Family courts are making lots of money on this crap. We took what's supposed to be last, and we put it up front, sex. That became your main focusing drivers, sex. And you can't figure out why you can't get a meaningful relationship in your life, huh? That's why. That's why. Equal men and women is first wave. Feminism will collapse exactly because men don't wear the pants. Well, feminism isn't an accident, and if you pay attention to history and do your homework, you'll find out feminism is played out throughout history in all societies. In every society, when they brought feminism in, the society collapsed behind feminism. Feminism wasn't, it may have been financed by bankers, but feminism goes a lot deeper than that. Look up the Fabians. Read on the Fabian Society. It goes a whole lot deeper than that. That's where feminism come from. This is not the first time feminism has been throughout our history. You can go back hundreds of years ago and find feminism. You'll find feminism in Great Rome. You see what happened to Great Rome? Every time they played feminism, put feminism into society, was towards the end of collapsing that society. It's all planned and it's all done and it's all done deliberately. And I know that's a hard pill for people to swallow because they think that they fall for the lies that they tell you when they bring feminism in. And most people don't do their research to find out the truth. And nowadays, guess what? The research used to be so readily available, and it still is. But some of the research is getting harder to find because they're scrubbing the net, because of censorship, because of hiding it from you, not wanting you to know the actual real truth. So, when it comes to society and it comes to women and equal men and women, okay, feminism, okay, West will collapse. Yes, that's right. Exactly. It will collapse. But this is where we've gone every time, man. You collapse the society when you do this. And it's pathetic. But you know what's even more pathetic? And I like it because Holka said it and it's so correct. How a man, Paul Elam, an agent, he was a plant the entire time, how this man turned over the men's right movement to women. And now the pickup artist industry, PUA, is also being controlled by females who are now writing the books just telling you men how to get a woman in your life. Now, is that freaking disgustingly pathetic or what? you know? And it is. It's actually pretty pathetic. So you mean the one that absolutely has no skills, that won't have to do a damn thing but take her pick, is the expert now, huh? Well, if that's the case, then I suppose the majority of the people in here, you all know how to wire a house, right? That's right. You know how to fix an automobile, right? You know plumbing, right? You know what Steve Hoka does. You can be working on air conditioners and furnaces, right? Because you're all experts at it, right? I mean, you're professional, you're experts at it, right? You're gurus at it, right? That's basically what the women are doing. How hard is it to take your pick of your favorite item? I know lots of little 3-year-old kids who have that talent. Just take that 3-year-old into the toy section of any store or into the candy aisle. I'll bet you they'll have no trouble picking out their favorite. And this is the skills these females have. And now they're writing your pickup artist industry books. And now they're running the men's movement. So the PUA industry is being taken over by females. They're going to be telling you how to get a woman in your life next, right? You mean the very ones that are doing this to you are not telling you how, huh? It's pathetic. It really is. Because we should never have a men's right movement. We should never have a feminist movement. We should never have any of this stuff, but we had to have it for divide and conquer. That's right. We had to have it for divide and conquer. We had to make sure we destroyed the family unit. What do you think? Pornography is free everywhere. To help destroy the family unit, to help break down morals and destroy your society. That's what it's about. That's all it's about. It's about destroying your society and breaking up the family unit, causing friction amongst the genders, to keep us fighting one another. And what happens when we do this? It's just like with racism. No lie, just like with racism. They give you Black Lives Matter. And then I come up and said all lives matter. And then I got attacked by Calvin. That's right. Because I dared to say all lives matter. How dare me care about anybody else other than black? And then Calvin had the audacity to say I was a closet racist because I said all lives matter. And then he even had the audacity to say he can't be racist. You know why he can't be racist? He's protected by his black skin. Now, that is one of the most racist, bigot things I've ever heard anybody say that fell out of his mouth. The shit people fall for. You know, you cannot help anybody. They have to want to help themselves first. I can only lead you to the water. I can't make you drink it. I can tell you, but you have to go look for yourself. You have to examine for yourself. And until you do that, there's nothing I can do. And that's honest. There's nothing I can do. But hey, you know, I'm going to get on out of here. I think I've been at this long enough. No idea how long I've been here, but I think I've probably been here for well over an hour now. So I think I should go ahead and shut my trap and get on out of here. And I'm going to give this a name after it goes up. And I'm going to give it a simple name. What side are you on, wrong or right? I mean, you know, are you on the wrong side or the right side? And I'll guarantee most people are going to say I'm on the right side. But the question is, are you? Because when you say I'm on the right side, then actions speak louder than words. That's all I got to say to that. And with that being said, I'm going to get the hell out of here. And you all have a good one.